Hey, Bombshell. What is going on this evening? I probably should have found a controller before I started. All right, now we're ready. So now the big question for tonight is, will we be able to set some personal best? Are we going to set a 3-lap record? Will we get a single lap record? Is it going to be on the big circle? Is it going to be on the lake? The Drake Lake, that is. Yeah, you like the Homer painting? So fun story with the Homer painting. That actually just randomly showed up at my house one day. Amazon had sent it by mistake. And I'm actually a huge Simpsons fan. So it was a happy little mistake. See, I've got another painting right up there. My wife actually made that one for me. The one with Maggie, Bart, Homer, and Marge heads all kind of stacked up on each other. Oh, and then I gotta show you these guys too, because these are like my favorite things right now. Just going to show you one of each so I don't have to dig the whole thing out. But these are the Simpsons vans. And there's another one that matches this guy that has like the OG 1989 Simpsons on them. And then, of course, I had to get the Moe's Taverns vans to go along with them. And then the other one has Lenny, Moe, and Carl on them. Anyway, just a few of my favorite things. Alright, I am feeling good about tonight. On a personal level, I've had a rather difficult couple of weeks, and Monday she piled right on. And I don't know why, but it seems like whenever things aren't really going my way IRL, you're able to throw down some serious peanut butter whenever it comes to wave race. But as of right now, I am not necessarily feeling it. The only reason I say I'm not feeling it is because I haven't hit that max power yet. What is going on? I feel like my camera's all out of whack. It's all good. It's all good. I just need to quit fiddling. What is going on with me? I believe I'm just a frame too late. There we go. Ugh. That is not the way you want to start the night. Hey, Codename Modern. Welcome to the stream. Was it Golden Axe? Was that what you were playing earlier? How did Golden Axe go? Good first lap. You know, we're getting a little better every day, Codename Modern. A second lap. For a warm-up lap, not too shabby. Yeah, in the 105s, just getting started, I am happy with that. Yeah, man, no problem. I didn't have too long to stick around, but enjoyed the time I was there. I will say I did like that you had the game price in various formats listed right there along with what you were playing. You know, that way if anyone was curious about wanting to go and buy it, you kind of had their back right there. Letting that turn just too close there. Hey, Uber Disco. We're in the 105s. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, now is just a really bad time to be getting into collecting. I think with the pandemic and everything, everyone, you know, not going on vacations and all that, they just kind of, you know, they had to spend that money somewhere, and I guess sitting at home and browsing eBay all day, all the prices just shot way up. A fun story, whenever all of the shutdowns first happened last year, I had, I've recently, in the past 5 years or so, gotten into collecting Japanese N64, and I've been going for like a full box set. And I had a package hung up in customs for like 6 months that I had ordered just like right before the pandemic started. And I was like, man, am I ever going to get these games? And then they showed up one day, and I was happy. 5-4. Okay, we're getting better. Yeah, you know, I have a flash cart. My thing is, I tend to I like collecting more than I actually like playing. So honestly, I mean, my flash cart's laying here and I'm not even using it. Um, I don't know. I've used it for some more obscure stuff, or if I don't want to dig something out of the box, I'll use it. But just, just straight up, you know, flash cart. I don't know. I typically have I either have all the games that I play on the flash cart, or it's just some random game that I just haven't gotten hold of yet. Yeah, actually, I have a contact for a guy, and he's pretty much the only person that I buy N64 Japanese stuff from. He's just been awesome to work with. You basically give him a list, and he'll deliver. The really cool thing, I think it's a little bit of a culture change from the US to Japan. Because like in the US, getting a boxed cart it's kind of hard to, not hard to come by, but it's rare. You know, it's the norm is a loose cartridge. And that's kind of the opposite in Japan. You typically, whenever you get something, it comes in the box with all the manuals, all the original stickers, and a lot of times even the original like little plastic baggie that the game was in. So their full, complete in-box stuff is pretty reasonable. I mean, I got Diddy Kong Racing with the Rumble Pack, complete inbox, and again, one of those where it had the little plastic baggie. It was like $25 shipped. I mean, it's ridiculous.
You almost had it.
Yeah, I highly recommend, you know, folks getting into collecting. It sounds more intimidating than it really is, but import some games. It's easier to collect the Japanese variants. You know, buy the games that you really care about, that you really want to play in their US form. And for building a collection, get Japanese stuff, because you can get some really nice stuff. And honestly, they look cool. They're more of a conversation starter. I say all this knowing that the Shindao version of Wave Race 64 is actually preferred for speedrunning, and here I am playing the US release. Even though it's probably on the shelf behind me.
You almost had it.
Yeah, typically there's been very few Japanese games that I have spent more on than I would have their US counterpart. And those were typically like Japanese exclusives. But just like translated games and stuff like that, no, get the Japanese version. I mean, they're maybe not as playable unless you really know the game really well, or you can read and speak Japanese. But to me, they're a heck of a lot more fun to even just sit there and look at. Beached it. Buoyed it. A little too close to the beach on those corners. Need to do a little better splitting the difference there. That went a little wide. That's a little better. There we go. That's about what we want right there. Not the hit the buoy part, but the turn part, we kind of nailed that. Not that one, but the one prior to it. Yeah, Japanese Mega Drive games. I personally haven't bought Mega Drive from Japan, but I'm sure it's a very similar situation. But for me, I was just shocked how many complete in-box games I was buying in the beginning. I was paying less for a complete in-box game from Japan shipped to the US than what I would have paid for its loose counterpart here in the US. And that's kind of what sold me on it. Whenever I originally started collecting, I just wanted to build a complete N64 Japanese set. And after like my first purchase where I, got 20, 30 games or so, and they were all in box, I was like, well, like this is what we're doing now. We're doing a full in-box set. But I tend to go for more obscure stuff too. Not just games, but I really like random hardware, like just weird stuff that you really can't find anywhere. That's kind of what I'm attracted to, I guess. I really haven't played the Rockman series at all, though. I mean, I'm aware of it. I've watched people play it. But it's just not something that I've ever really picked up. I know people that play it. That's practically the same thing. Ah. Did a bit of steering there, but
You almost had it.
I never really played a lot of Super Nintendo back in the day. We're a Sega Genesis family. Pretty sure I've played every Sonic variant up through the GameCube. Right, GameCube? Yeah, there was a Sonic game on the GameCube, right? I know it was a Nintendo, but I'm pretty sure there was a... It's like a variety Sonic game or something? I'm not making that up, am I?
You almost had it.
Oh, yeah, I've actually never played Final Fantasy either. I was in my 30s before I played Earthbound. See, and this is what I kind of, I go back to. I'm really not a gamer. I play some games, but like, I'm more of a collector than anything. I like collecting more than I do playing games. Good first lap. Not gonna lie. I'll completely choke for the rest of the race, but that first lap, my god, that looked nice. The second lap, not so great. Really beached it a little there on the third lap.
almost had it.
Yeah, got that one way too close. This isn't the one either. That was pretty slick.
You almost had it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that that's how it started. Was I want to buy these games and I want to play them eventually. Yeah, eventually never happened. Now there's literally hundreds of games here and tens of consoles, and gosh, I think I have like 6 N64s right now just on the shelf just because I got a deal. It's a problem. It's a real problem. I tend to buy just about anything that I see that is a halfway decent deal that's not a disc-based system. I tend to avoid a lot of anything that comes on a disc or plays a disc. It's because, I don't know, it's too new for me, I guess. I mean, I have some original Xbox stuff. I have some GameCube stuff. I have a Dreamcast. It's just those are like minor parts of my collection. There's not much there. The Xbox, one, I have it because it's left over from my childhood, but one of the reasons that I still have it, and I actually made some modern purchases for it. Steel Battalion. If you have never heard of Steel Battalion, look up Steel Battalion. It is hands down the coolest video game controller, like home video game controller, that money can buy. Yeah, and disc rot is a problem. I've only had it be a problem like once or twice though. But the games it was a problem on, it's like it hurt really bad because they were really hard to find games. And yes, I do have the Steel Battalion control deck. I have the first revision, all still in its original box, all wrapped up, all nice and neat. I've played it a handful of times, but for the most part, it just sits in a box on the shelf behind me. A really fun game, though. Very intricate. There's a lot of ins and outs and what have yous. Not exactly something that you can just sit down and like beat in an afternoon. Well, I mean, you can, but like you couldn't do it just blind. It takes a little bit of practice. I don't know what a complete Steel Battalion box set goes for right now either, but I have a feeling I didn't pay what it's worth. Yeah, I paid more than 200 for this one. No, I think the camera will tilt up there. Yeah, there you go. So it's hanging out right there. Hey, pancakes. What's going on this evening? Yeah, I probably paid about double what you're talking about there, Uber Disco. Oh, Bunko Land. Ugh, golf. So I bought golf clubs here several years ago. I actually wound up buying two identical sets. I got them secondhand. But anyway, at the time, a lot of my coworkers were going out and golfing together, and probably spend some time going out and learn how to play golf and golfing with these guys. I never got good enough to ever like even keep score, but I have two sets of golf clubs. I figure one of these days I'll put one of them to use. Man, I'm really sucking at this tonight. There we go. Yeah, so Fried Bologna, who I stream with on the weekends sometimes, we were talking about inventing a game. For whatever reason, there's literally a pile of golf clubs at his family farm. And it's mostly because his family is nothing but pack rats, and they found some golf clubs somewhere at some point in time. And I'm not talking like a pile like there's 20 or 30 golf clubs lying there. I'm talking like somebody loaded up a pickup truck with golf clubs and then just dumped them there. So we were talking about inventing a game to where it would basically be, kind of like disc golf, except instead of throwing discs, you threw golf clubs. And, so instead of a ball, you just go, 4, and then take a golf club and chuck it as far as you can. Oh yeah, these aren't golf clubs that you would want to play with. They have, at this point, they have laid outside so long. Coincidentally, they're next to the pile of wheelchairs. Go figure. I want to say there might even be a pile of bowling balls there. We'll have to ask Fried Bologna about that if we do any streaming this weekend. I'm 90% sure that there's a pile of bowling balls next to the golf clubs. There's a pile of hotel air conditioners out there. His family would kill me if I was talking about this, telling everyone about all their valuables. There's a tragic story about a Burger Time arcade machine that I don't want to say we found out there, but it died out there. But I will say, the things that I enjoy about golf, I enjoy driving the golf cart around. I enjoy the part where you drink beer. That's fun. I like putting, but the part getting from the tee to the green, not my cup of tea.
You almost had it.
Yeah, club golf, I like it. Now, see, we just invented a game. So you, so you throw the golf club, and you have to wheelchair to where it is, and then chuck a bowling ball from there. Yeah, that's that's club golf right there. Yeah, I'm working on it, Pancakes. I think that my problem is a couple of problems. One, I took 2 weeks off, and that has, I feel like I'm just getting back into the swing of it. And two, I am distracted. My head is not in the game. So, oh, and the other thing that I want to do too is I want to go back and I want to watch some better players. And kind of get a feel for what they're doing, because right now I'm just doing what I've been doing the past 3 or 4 streams. And I'm going to need a little bit more of an edge. And I recognize that. That's fine. And I've got to get my B button under control, because I am tapping the hell out of it right there whenever I'm over the sand. And I always lose it on that turn right there. And now I missed a buoy.
You almost had it.
See, Uber Disco, I like where your head's at. We got to get a sack race in there. They have some lawnmowers out there that don't have like the actual mowing deck on them, and like riding mowers. And they call those their 4-wheelers. So we can incorporate those somewhere. Well, and the other thing to remember too is, coming back from the last time we streamed this, we just were absolutely crushing it. I mean, like before the break. So I feel like the last time we were actually good at this, we were really, we set par. From a personal perspective, though, for the most part, I've been consistent in the 105s, which is progress. I would like to be consistent in the low 105s, or high 104s, but we'll get there. I mean, Drunk Adults Magic Mountain. Yeah, pretty much. I can tell you some stories about this farm. I don't know if I'm assuming he still has it up, but Fried Baloney put a thread on Twitter where he went out there metal detecting, and I mean, he found some pretty cool stuff, but it was still just like trash. We did build a trebuchet out there once. That was a lot of fun. It lasted a total of 1 time, completely loaded up with weight, and just, I mean, it threw the hell out of that golf ball, but it kind of destroyed itself. I'd say we had about 300 pounds of weight in it whenever we turned it loose. I mean, there were a couple of test throws before the catastrophic throw. Man, was it fun.
You almost had it. 3, 2, 1.
What made me want to speedrun this game? So I knew that. Okay, so long story here. I've told it a couple of times on stream, but it's all right. Everyone's, we got a lot of new folks here. So I knew that I needed some form of creative outlet. I used to run a fairly popular movie blog and movie podcast. And here, 4 or 5 years ago now, we all kind of went our separate ways. Just because we were all kind of, getting married, moving, having kids, stuff like that. And it just wasn't working out anymore. All on good terms. No issues there. But I recognized that I wanted to do something.
You almost had it.
And what I really wanted to do was to be some sort of content creator. Something fairly low effort though, because I don't want to spend and do a lot of time editing videos and that sort of thing. So I decided I wanted to really start focusing on the 90s and, kind of reminiscing and reliving my childhood like one will do. I really enjoyed the things from when I was a kid. So whenever I was looking for like some easy entry into content creation, I was like, maybe I should start speedrunning something, because I watch a lot of speedrunning. I've never done any speedrunning. Nothing serious at least. But I think it'll be fun. And so I started looking at, okay, what are my options? Well, the N64 is my favorite console, so clearly we're going to pick the N64. And I kind of started making a list of, these are the potential games that we could start speedrunning. And just looking through the different communities as far as what did they look like as far as speedrunning went, how difficult was it? This is pretty much what we landed on. This was one of my favorite games as a kid. Fun story. This is my childhood N64, along with the childhood cartridge, Wave Race cartridge, and even the original TV from my bedroom as a kid. So for me, it just kind of worked out. I don't plan on exclusively doing speedrunning content, but for right now, it's what works. Yeah, I wasn't planning on doing as much like, live streaming is what I'm doing. I was planning on doing some more, offline content and then posting it later. But one thing that I'm finding really cool is I only play Wave Race on stream. And so being able to log in and kind of chat with everyone, I've really enjoyed the streaming side of it. So what started as, hey, let's start a YouTube channel. It's now kind of evolved a little bit into the YouTube channel is more secondary. And I say it's secondary from the standpoint of I've never posted anything but live streams there. So it may just be defunct at this point. But we were talking on the stream the other night, and I am planning on doing some other things. Maybe like some technical, like hardware type things, console repair, console refurbishment, that sort of thing. And then, I mentioned in the Discord earlier, I might start doing some IRL type streams. So doing some things in real life. I go to a lot of amusement parks and we just do a lot of random stuff where I think that I could do some little short streams that folks would be interested in. But all in all, I have really enjoyed the community of streaming more than I think I would have the static, YouTuber waiting for people to comment later kind of approach. I think that community and discussion was really what I was after. Because, I mean, ultimately, that's what we did back whenever we had the podcast. Was there were, 4 of us. We sat around, we shot the shit for a little while. So I would say keep your eye out, because things are going to be changing, and not like changing as in, we're going to flip formats, but more from the standpoint of you're probably going to see some different things. Oh gosh. Hey, the Tanny boy? Is that right? Well, I'm glad that you've heard a lot about me. Good or bad. I'm curious. It is a gym. It is absolutely a gym. I think that a lot of folks really underestimate Wave Race 64, but it is one of the best racing games on the N64. The water mechanics are just insane, and it just it adds an element to the game, even outside of speedrunning. Like if you're just going to sit down and play with a group of friends, it's just completely different than any other racing game. And honestly, the waves are probably what I find the absolute most frustrating, aside from trying to get the max power on the start that I completely suck at.
Almost had it.
I've never played the GameCube one. It looks interesting, but a lot of folks, they definitely don't like it. It's not high on the list. There's apparently a Game Boy version as well, and I haven't looked into it a whole lot, but a lot of folks play it, and it looks, I don't know. It just looks like the most frustrating game ever. Not ever, but you get what I'm saying. Really good first lap. Ruined it on the second lap. Ruined it. Same thing on the third lap. God. After such a good first lap, too.
Almost had it.
Oh. will say I almost did pick another 64 game to play tonight just because I really didn't know if I was feeling grinding Wave Race 64 again, but we are. Very sloppy. I think that's what I want those turns to look like, if I can just keep that up. I'll do that. Terrible lap. Earlier there. Okay, okay. We can do this. Oh. Up hitting the buoy. Need to turn earlier there. Interesting. Okay, okay. Bad second lap. Oh, too wide, too wide.
You almost had it.
Okay, we're getting there. We're making headway. Impressive. I appreciate that, Tanny boy. But I can assure you, there are more impressive than I out there. You know, I used to be that guy. Just all over the place. This is officially our 25th session of Wave Race. So I've had a little bit of practice at this point. And yet this is the part that I am the worst at. And that's getting the max power. It takes a lot of restraint to stop just throwing the joystick all over the place, because like whenever I would play as a kid, or like if I were playing without, you know, focusing on how can I get the fastest time, I am always steering. I mean, always. And like now I make a very conscious effort where a lot of times I'm not even touching the thumbstick, just because I don't want to move it around. I kind of get locked in the direction I want to go, and pretty much try and avoid the thumbstick at all except for like minor corrections. Okay. Get better at not tapping the B button over the sand. There we go. On. Okay, we broke into the 104s. This is progress. This is where we want to be. So, I was happy with the 105s we've been consistently throwing down tonight, but where we really want to be is throwing down these 104s. Because that's going to get us closer to what I like to call peanut butter territory, aka personal best. Oh yeah. Yeah, we are on an original controller. Plugged right into an original CLL. Son of a... Great, now that's going to be there forever.
3, 2, 1.
I have considered upgrading to like Brawler 64. But I honestly don't know if I'd like it or not.
3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, the brawlers from what I've seen are really nice. I don't know. I know that the N64 controller is weird, but I have always really liked the N64 controller. I'm kind of afraid at this point if I switch to a brawler, it's like I'm going to be relearning how to use the controller. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. And, I mean, cost of entry is pretty cheap too. What are they, like $40 now? Which is, that's incredibly affordable for a decent aftermarket controller, let alone a wireless and what I would consider like top of the line aftermarket controller. I think a lot of my hesitation comes from though, like I have a Hori, the Hori Mini controller, which is like before the Brawler, that was the gold standard of aftermarket controllers. And I don't know, I wasn't a big fan of it. Now, I do not use controllers with the like completely destroyed joysticks either. So I will either, whenever this guy starts to get a little too much wobble in it, I will either swap it out for another one. I will buy some sort of fancy rebuild kit for it. Do I speedrun any other games? Not currently, no. This is essentially the first game I've ever made a real attempt at speedrunning.
3, 2, 1.
The only other thing that I have ever speedran, and it wasn't from the intent of speedrunning, but it was more competing with my coworkers, was Hydro Thunder Arcade. I used to work in movie theaters before my current career, and working in the movie theaters, whenever we had downtime, I would play Hydro Thunder, and another employee started playing Hydro Thunder, and we eventually got to the point to where we owned the leaderboard on one of the courses, and it was like a challenge who could get the #1 score next. And it went on for like a year, and there would be times it would be a month before one of us broke the high score. And I don't remember who actually wound up with the final high score, but I do remember the time that it was the biggest upset, and it was towards the end, where it's like there's not getting much faster than what we're doing right now. And he had beat a score that I had for like 2 weeks, and I sat down And on 2 quarters, I beat the score by like a solid second. And I've never seen anyone so mad whenever they lost a high score off of an arcade game. And I'd say he took a month off before he ever played again. Because it was literally the first time I sat down after he beat my number 1 spot. So I would say Hydro Thunder, I probably technically was doing some speedrunning on, but it really wasn't speedrunning. It was just beating my coworker. I could see me, after this, doing some other speedrunning. I've definitely been enjoying it. I think that my problem is it takes a lot of effort. It's not like you can just sit down and decide one day, I'm going to speedrun this game, and then in a week actually be good at it.
3, 2, 1.
And you know, having a family, it's just difficult for me to really, you know, say, hey, you know, I'm gonna lock myself in the basement for the next month because I'm learning how to speedrun this new game. How I just plowed through those without falling off. Not a terrible lap either, all things considered. What about you, the Tanny Boy? Do you do any speedrunning? Ah.
3, 2, 1.
Way too much steering through there. You know, the best advice that I can give you is don't necessarily pick a game that everyone else is speedrunning, but kind of look for a balance. One, pick some games that you really like, and then look at what their speedrunning community looks like. You know, is there a lot of people there? You know, is it something that's just like completely oversaturated? Because like Super Mario, I don't think that's a game I would enjoy speedrunning, because the community is honestly just too big. I think for someone just starting out, and I just say this from my personal experience, having that smaller kind of close-knit community is just really nice. Like Pancakes, My Pancakes was hanging out here earlier. You know, he's I think he's number 4 in the rankings for the whole game. Oh, you know, hopefully he can come back in and correct me if I'm wrong there, but you know, top 5 player. And you know, and then some of the others, you know, Shibby Pod and some of the others from the community stop in from time to time, and that's been really cool, and it's been really helpful getting folks with that level of experience, you know, showing interest in a newer player and being willing to jump in and give some tips, and not just give some tips, but some motivation, and say, hey, you know, keep at it. You know, you're on the right track. To where I don't think that you would get that with a, you know, huge community like Super Mario Brothers. And I mean, there's times it's not necessarily the easiest thing playing the same course over and over again for over an hour now. Because especially here, I'm essentially making a circle. and I've done it for an hour. And if there weren't people here chatting with me, I would be bored as hell right now. But I don't know. It's fun. I enjoy it. I could see to where like games with longer levels would be very difficult to kind of start with. Oh, the other thing I would do too is get on YouTube and watch some YouTubers that talk about speedrunning. Not necessarily speedrunners, but YouTubers that talk about it. And the one I always talk about on here because his content is awesome is Carl Jobst. Jobst, something like that. But that's Carl with a K. But just check out his stuff because he does a really good job covering not just speed runs, but like strategy changes that enable, you know, huge progress in games. And I think that is just really freaking awesome. All right, we got to get rid of that second L on there. My goodness. Where's the backspace? Whew. Yeah, and you're right. The community, not just the speedrunning community, but the Twitch community in general. I mean, there's been some D-bags here and there, but all in all, I really do get the vibe that everyone is here to, instead of, you know, tearing people down, everyone's here to build everyone up because, you know, we all win together, right? Headphones disconnected there for a second and it distracted me. I keep screwing up my strategy. My real strategy to do better at Wave Race 64 is to just go faster. Every time I try to go faster, it just seems like I'm not getting it. Ugly.
You almost had it.
Well, good for you. I would welcome another Wave Race 64. Yeah, I would say look up some of the speedrunning stuff first because there is some pretty big benefits to getting the, and I'm probably butchering how you say this, but the Wave Race Shindao version, which is the Japanese version that was compatible with the Rumble Pack. I think I personally have not used it yet, but some of the things that you can do there is you can turn on a dolphin that you can follow around to kind of help you with the routing. And if you're doing a full like championship run, it actually runs faster than the US version or non-Rumble Pack version, let me put it that way, because there is another, like the Japanese translation of the US version, and so you will finish faster using the Shindao version, Shindu, however you say it. So just keep that in mind before, you know, you pull the trigger. Not that Wave Race is a pricey game. I'm going to guess a loose Wave Race cartridge is like $6. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, there's yeah, so much money in the retro community. Where I had to stop myself was whenever I started getting into actual full-blown arcade cabinets and pinball. Now, that is hard on the wallet. Yeah, I had this vision I was going to build like a full-blown arcade in my basement, and I could probably do it, but it's not worth it. Absolutely not worth it. What was the biggest put off was actually getting them down the basement stairs. I mean, yes, they were expensive, but carrying them down the stairs, I felt really bad for the movers I hired to do it because they really struggled with it. Yeah, I have an original Space Invaders, a stand-up version of Super Hang-On, so not like the sit-down version, but the one you'd stand in front of. And then Super Hang-On 2, sorry, it's not Super Hang-On, but and then a Bally's hang glider pinball table. So nothing too crazy, but enough to know that like I was a little out of my league with this hobby. I really enjoy working on them though. I'm an electrical engineer by trade, so going through and working on these guys, especially the arcade cabinets with, you know, having the whole high voltage circuit and everything in them, that's a lot of fun to me.
You almost had it.
I will say the one I am still going to buy as soon as I can find one in halfway decent shape is the Konami 4-player Simpsons. As we were talking earlier in the stream, I'm a huge Simpsons fan, and I would just love to have a full-size 4-player Konami Simpsons. Arcade 1-Up is actually releasing one next month, I believe. I think for an arcade 1-Up machine, it's a little high priced. I'm wanting to say it's like $600 or $700, but there is a good chance I'm not going to be able to resist. I have a problem. Which you guys probably saw my Simpsons picture in the Discord of giant Homer Simpson arm and my autographed Simpsons script. That's just like scratching the surface of my Simpsons collection. My retro collection looks like child's play compared to all my Simpsons crap laying around.
Almost had it.
Oh, yeah. So that one in particular was nothing more than pay to play. I mean, you dumped enough money into it, you'd beat it. The first time I beat it was probably about 10 years ago. There was an arcade that we went to that was like unlimited play. You could play all you wanted for like a set fee. And yeah, and you just basically sit there and push the button to keep playing. Yeah, The Simpsons absolutely dominated pop culture. One of my favorite things was taking my Book It stickers to Pizza Hut and getting my free pan pizza, or personal pan pizza, and playing Konami Simpsons while I waited for them to make it. But yeah, Oh, gosh, I've got so much Simpsons crap. Yeah, ours only had two. It had the four-player Konami Simpsons and pole position, which pole position, as simple as it was, my God, that was a fun game. They had those plastic red cups. Those were always cool. Oh, Die Hard. I don't know that I ever played Die Hard in the arcade. I got that too close. Heard my water scooter bogged down a little bit there. A terrible lap. That's what you want to do right there. Go fast. Go fast.
Almost had it.
See, the four-player Turtles in Time, believe it or not, is the same game as the Konami Simpsons, just slightly rethemed a little. If you play the two side by side, you will see the similarities. Yeah, it's really apparent going from Turtles in Time to The Simpsons, because some of the bosses just do not make any sense. Like, why is there this weird spider thing? And then you go and play Turtles in Time, and it's like, ah, I get it. That makes sense. Oh. Yeah, I love how they team up. I think my favorite part is how Marge's weapon is a vacuum cleaner. I don't know why, but that just cracks me up that she's running around the whole game with a vacuum cleaner and then just, uses that to beat the crap out of people. Come on now. Kills me. There we go. No. Yep, we're going to restart this guy.
3, 2, 1.
I'm really craving some Pizza Hut. Not new Pizza Hut, but old school Pizza Hut. You guys remember the Big New Yorker? That was my favorite pizza at Pizza Hut. I also like their cheesy breadsticks. Those things are really good. They were really good. I've been to Pizza Hut in years. Terrible.
3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
Oh yeah. See, there's Pizza Huts around here that still have the salad bar. At least, you know, as of a couple of years ago, they still have the salad bar. Didn't they have like the salad bar and then like in between all the little bins of food? Wouldn't they have like kale or some sort of green stuff like poked down in there too, to where it's like, it looks like the entire thing's just one big piece of lettuce? And then, you know, there's another thing too. I didn't realize this was a thing until recently, but there are restaurants that are called Pizza Hut Classics. And they are Pizza Huts that are themed and operate like they were, you know, are still in the 90s.
Almost had it.
You know, they still have the red cups. They still have the stained glass little chandelier things over the tables. Oh yeah, Pizza Hut was way better back in the day. I need to check out one of those Pizza Hut classics though, and see if they are really doing it justice.
3, 2, 1.
Where'd my guy go?
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I think Bombshell, the real question is, was Pizza Hut better 15 or 20 years ago? Or have our taste buds just changed that much? And, you know, it's kind of like, well, you know, we're all grown up now. We don't like Pizza Hut no more.
3, 2, 1.
Oh,
3, 2, 1.
yeah, all right. Give me one quick second, guys. I want to take a real quick break here.
Three, two, one, go!
And we are back. Yeah, I will say that I haven't been to a Pizza Hut in a long time. But the last time I was at a Pizza Hut, I was not impressed. They did have an all-you-could-eat pizza buffet, though. And I'm a big fan of things that end in buffet. I get it. Buffets are gross. The food's low quality, but you can eat all you want. I will say, though, there actually are some really good pizza buffets out there. There is, I don't know where everyone's from, but where I am from, there is a little chain called Giovanni's. And every Giovanni's is 100% different from every other Giovanni's. But some of them are really good, and some of them do a really good pizza buffet. Favorite one is in a little town called Jackson, Ohio. And that pizza buffet, it has pasta, which is not good. It has pizzas, which are pretty good, but what it has that is freaking awesome are these toasted sandwiches, and they are absolutely delicious. And I would go back to that buffet just to get the sandwiches. I was in there actually one day, and there was literally a guy in there he gets this giant plate and fills it up with like every type of pasta they had on the buffet, which was two. They had like the rigatoni noodles and spaghetti. And he takes it back to his table and he just sits there. Man, what is this guy doing? Because he's got this plate piled full of just spaghetti, nothing else, just spaghetti and rigatoni noodles. Then the waitress brings out this bowl, and here you go, Shug. That's whenever I realized this man was eating spaghetti and butter. That's all. That's all he ate the whole time he was in there was spaghetti and butter. There was another guy we used to see in there a lot. I used to eat at this place a good bit. But he wouldn't eat the crust. And I'm not talking like he would pick up a slice of pizza and eat it back to the crust and then leave the crust lay there. I mean, he wouldn't eat any of the dough part of the pizza. So he would sit down with his plate of pizza and he would take a fork, he would scrape the toppings off of it, and then just like one bite, just... I really enjoy people watching. It's one of my favorite things. Pinballed off of those buoys. Still a pretty decent first lap, too. Okay, so with that, I think I'm ready for a new course. So let's mix it up and let's go over and see how old Drake Lake's doing tonight.
Select your course, please.
3, 2, 1, go! 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, way too late.
3, 2, 1.
All right. Made it through the salamander. Nailed that toothpick, though.
2, 1. Three, two, one. 3, 2, 1.
Come on now.
3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
Oh no. My thumb slipped off the joystick. Hit it again.
3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
All right, come on now.
3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
All right, restarting again. That's what we do now. Oh, that was way too wide. Way too wide. Terrible salamander. I didn't hit the toothpick. All that matters. Hey, 420, nice.
3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
No, don't be this way.
2, 1.
Wave race. She is a harsh mistress. Switching up courses like this midway through the stream, challenging. More veteran players, watch them do it. But I am not a veteran player. I am what's known as a noob. Come on now.
3, 2, 1.
This might be the night you see me rage quit. Really? I'm not much into the rage category. Except when I get angry.
3, 2, 1.
So in other important news, you guys hear that there's new tacos at Taco Bell? We've got a whole slew of things. We've got the beefy potato flatbread taco. We've got the chicken something flatbread taco. There's some vegetarian flatbread taco, but most importantly, they brought back a flamin' hot Doritos Loco taco. Excited for that myself.
3, 2, 1.
I like spicy food.
2, 1.
I wouldn't consider the Flaming Hot brand to be super spicy, but that is a delicious spice.
3, 2, 1.
I don't know exactly what pepper makes up the Flamin' Hot pepper. It's pretty good.
3, 2, 1.
Do I continue? Yeah. Nope, shouldn't have continued.
3, 2, 1.
Oh gosh.
Three, two, one.
Night is not my night.
Three, two, one. Three, two, one.
All right. We're going to get one more. Just one more solid run in. And we are going to call it a night. Give someone a good old-fashioned raid. We'll be back hopefully this weekend for a joint stream with myself and Mr. Fried Bologna. Pretty solid lap. According to the time, it wasn't. But compared to what we've been doing this evening, that was solid AF. AF, I say. Oh, geez. I would say that was a non-traditional route through the toothpicks.
Looks like trouble. Three, two, one. Three, two, one. Three, two, one.
Come on now.
Three, two, one.
There we go. We're going to go fast. Yeah, so whenever we stream again this weekend, we'll have Fried Bologna on, and we will have to talk about club golf and the pile of bowling balls and the pile of wheelchairs for some reason. I mean, not the worst salamander there. But I definitely spent more time steering than I should have. Way too much time on the island. Any time on the island is too much time on the island. It's not what you like to see. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's pretty ugly, Bombshell. We have really taken a turn this evening. I thought that, going back to old reliable here would be helpful. I guess we're just not in the zone this evening. Gosh. Hey, joystick drip. What is going on this evening? Goodness. No! Ah, Ace Ventura. One of my favorites. I'm actually a pretty big fan. Except for that, was it the young Ace Ventura? I feel like that's not right. But the one where it was his kid, didn't really care for that. Stream is going great. Gameplay, not so great. But good company. I've really appreciated chat tonight. We've been having a good time. And I'm going to be honest, I needed a good time, so I am excited about that. But yeah, as far as the performance in-game, no. Tonight is not the night. But we're having fun. That's the important part. Said from the get-go of my streaming career, my entertainment is priority number one. I would actually say the chat's entertainment is priority number two. And 3 or 4, maybe even 5 is the actual game itself. It's just kind of background noise at this point. Favorite movies for me. I was just talking about this with someone earlier today, and we've talked about it on stream before. I would probably say like the Indiana Jones trilogy or Back to the Future. The trilogy, probably like my favorite movies. I have like a top 5, but they're not in any particular order. Like I really like Goodfellas. Son of a... Goodfellas is one of those movies that I can watch just anytime, day or night. But that's the same way with any of the Back to the Future movies or Indiana Jones. Not so much the Temple of Doom. I'm not a huge Temple of Doom fan. But, gosh, the first Jurassic Park. Yeah, so we talked about it a little earlier in the stream, but I'm a pretty big movie fan. I used to work in movie theaters for several years. I owned and operated a fairly popular movie blog and podcast. So I can talk shop with you when it comes to movies. Terrible start to this run. Did you like the remake though with Ace Ventura, where it was about his kid, where Jim Carrey was not, you know, like really even in it? Because I couldn't get behind that. That was too much for me. Okay, good. See, I'm a pretty big Jim Carrey fan. I even like the Cable Guy. I know a lot of people hated the Cable Guy, but I thought the Cable Guy was hilarious. Exactly. It would be like Dumb and Dumber without Jim Carrey. It wouldn't work. Gosh. He did kind of lose it in later years with some of his movies. I don't know if you guys remember the Number 23. That movie was terrible. And it's like, I felt like, I don't even know why Jim Carrey did that movie. It reminded me of like whenever Nicolas Cage did Wicker Man. Like, why did you do this? Like, you knew this was going to end bad. Gosh. See, Eternal Sunshine was actually really good. Another actor that, you know, did like a serious kind of sad movie that you wouldn't expect, Will Ferrell. There was a movie called Everything Must Go, and it was like kind of centered around his divorce. And it was, I mean, it was serious and it was sad and it was a little bit funny, but like it wasn't your typical Will Ferrell movie, and it was actually like really good. Son of a. Are you talking about Everything Must Go, Joystick Trip? Because not too many people have seen that movie, and it's like, I always tell people, it's like, it's a Will Ferrell movie, but not that kind of Will Ferrell movie. It's like, you have to preface it with that, because it's definitely not your typical Will Ferrell movie. Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah, Stranger Than Fiction was good too, but it was a different movie than... I don't know. I feel like it wasn't quite as serious as like Everything Must Go was. What in the heck? I think we might have a controller issue, guys. Yep. Yep, we have a problem. Yep, I am hands off right now. We must have gone too far tonight. Uh, so, fun fact. A lot of people don't realize this, but I'm going to show you guys something here. So, notice that he is spinning in circles right now. So, you can actually recalibrate your N64 joystick on the N64 if you hold both the left and the right bumper and then press start. It will recenter your joystick. So like if I hold this over, hold the left and right bumper and press start, it's now centered in whatever that position was. So I don't know exactly what happened there as to why it lost its center, but bam. Yeah, we have talked Brawler 64 tonight. And one of these days I might get one. Yeah, I don't know why the joystick lost center there, but that's one of those things that I don't think anyone really knew. I'm assuming there's some hardware problem with my controller, so for the next stream we will probably swap this guy out. But yeah, you can recalibrate your controller at any time. Bombshell, I am really excited that I taught you something that you didn't know. Because you have taught me a lot whenever it comes to video game playing. So me being able to teach you something about N64 hardware, that makes me really excited. I can tell you though, there is something wrong with this stick because it is definitely, its range of motion is not what it should be. So it is recentered, but like if I'm going hard left or right, I am definitely not getting the turn I would expect. We'll take care of that before the next stream. No biggie. But I'm a hardware guy, so... Hey. Glad that I could accomplish something this evening. I'm gonna have to clip that or something. Make a PSA. I will say that is probably the first time it's ever happened to me during gameplay. It typically happens whenever you plug in like a controller. So like you already have the console turned on and you just randomly plug in a controller. That's whenever it would typically happen. Not really sure what's going on as to why it did it to me mid-game. Actually a little bit curious about that and a little excited to do surgery on this guy later to figure out what happened. The Mask. That is probably the Jim Carrey movie I've watched the least, not because I don't like it. I mean old school Jim Carrey. I don't know, just because it didn't really resonate with me like When Nature Calls did. Dumb and Dumber. I was a big Dumb and Dumber fan. Ugly. Real ugly. really good first lap, not so hot second lap, not on my good, on a good start for the third lap. But this is, can't leave on that. Yeah, so one of my kid's favorite movies is Jurassic Park. He's 4, mind you, and last summer, he was 3. We took him to the drive-in to watch Jurassic Park, and that was friggin' awesome, and I loved every minute of it, and I'm so glad I got to do that with him. He, of course, fell asleep, but I enjoyed it. All right.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, so I have a CRT on top of my mini fridge. I currently don't have an VHS player hooked up to it, though. You know, that's why I'm playing my N64 on right now. I think that's a really good idea. I have VCRs, you know, here. I was there for a while. I actually did get into collecting VHS tapes. For some reason, I really enjoy going to thrift stores and getting blank VHS tapes. So basically what people have recorded off of TV. I really enjoy watching old commercials, which is crazy to me because, like, I go out of my way to avoid to avoid advertisements today.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, so there's actually 2 drive-ins by me within a 20-minute drive, which is absolutely unheard of. There's one in Columbus, and there is one in Lancaster, Ohio, and I'm like perched right between them. I personally prefer the one in Lancaster, Ohio, because of one reason, and that is Walt. The owner's name is Walt, and he has worked at the drive-in, from what I understand, since he was like in high school. And at some point he bought the drive-in. But imagine Walt, this guy that's probably in his 70s, and he just rides around the drive-in on his golf cart and enforces the rules. It's like the Alamo Drafthouse of drive-in theaters, and I absolutely love it. Everyone complains about the golf cart guy because he, you know, is a real stickler for the rules. But to me, it's this old guy. He loves his drive-in, and by God, you're going to play by his rules if you're going to watch a movie there. And I love it. Yeah, so one of my favorite things is going to the drive-in and watching Walt go through and yell at people. Okay, I'm going to finish this up just because I can't stomach not finishing this course at all.
You almost had it.
Pretty ugly night, though. Hey, Accentures. Yeah, mine's not a combo. I have to hook up the good old forehead VCR to go with it. So anyways, I appreciate everyone hanging out tonight. I would like to do some raiding. If anyone has any suggestions for a raid, I always like to favor chat suggestions. I have someone in mind, but I am always open to suggestions. But yeah, I appreciate everyone coming out tonight. Bombshell, Joystick Drip, Accentures, Codename Modern, the Tanny Boy, My Oh My Pancakes was here earlier. Uber Disco, thanks for stopping by for the very first time. I don't normally do this, but I am 2 follows away from 50. So if you're not following me, I would appreciate the follow, because I am trying to get to 50. Let me just look up this Corey Don __ guy. Let's see what we got going on here. I really like that it's a small streamer. That's always a plus. Yeah, so let's do that joystick trip. I appreciate the suggestion. So let's go ahead and get started here, and give Corey Don __ a big fat raid of 2. So, anyways, I appreciate everyone stopping by. This has been Wave Race Wednesday. We will be back sometime this weekend for some more something. We'll figure it out. But at the very least, we will be back Sunday for Sea-Doo Sunday. Thanks again, everyone, for stopping by, and let's get this raid underway.